Hi, good evening. Welcome to the Shawsheen Academic Department live event. Thanks for joining us this evening. My name is Danica Johnston. I'm the Director of Academic Programs here at Shawsheen, and I'm joined by my department chairs tonight, as well as my administrative assistant. Thanks for joining us, and remember that this will be recorded, so if you know of someone who was unable to attend, they can always access this information later. Okay. So we're going to start off with introductions. Like I said, my name is Danica Johnson. I'm the Director of Academic Programs. On the call with me, we also have Mr. Jeffrey McGrath, who is the Mathematics Department Chair, Mr. Kevin Bloom, who is the English Department Chair, Dr. David Maroney, who is the Social Studies and Spanish Department Chair, Miss Sheila Fitzpatrick, who is the Support Services Department Chair, and Miss Kristen Eudston, who is the Administrative Assistant. So first, I'm just going to do a little overview of the academics at Shawsheen. So all of the academic programs at Shawsheen are aligned to the Common Core and to the Mass Core frameworks. Annually, we have a 99% graduation rate, so our seniors, for the senior class annually. Additionally, approximately 60% of Shawsheen graduates attend post-secondary schools, so they do some education after they leave Shawsheen. Almost 100 seniors this year in this current class earned the Abigail Adams Scholarship, which gives them tuition for up to 8 semesters of undergraduate education at a Massachusetts State College or University, which seniors earn this by their MCAS scores and demonstrating advanced levels in their math and English MCAS scores. Additionally, we offer dual enrollment classes at Middlesex Community College, so students can take classes at Shawsheen and get credit at Shawsheen and at Middlesex Community College. In addition to the academic component, we have 21 different vocational career paths. We also have articulation agreements with the vocational programs. Similar to the dual enrollment classes, this means that students can also get college credit for enrolling in some of their vocational from their shops. They'll get credit at MCC. And other 2 points that we're really proud of are the MCAS scores here at Shawsheen are the highest for all voc tech schools in the state, as well as our co-op percentage of students. So approximately 60% of our senior class annually goes out on co-op every year, meaning they go out and they work during their shop week of their senior year. And this again is the highest percentage of co-op students statewide. Okay, so we're going to begin with the English department. So I'm going to introduce Mr. Kevin Bloom, the department chair for the English department.
Thank you, Danica, and welcome to everyone joining us here tonight. I'm excited to talk about all the English department has to offer for our Shawsheen Tech students. The English department program is aligned with the Massachusetts curriculum frameworks and emphasis on its 5 standards: reading literature, reading informational text, writing, language, and speaking and listening. We offer 6 grouping levels to ensure that our curriculum is accessible and paced appropriately for each individual student's abilities. And we also have 3 certified consulting teachers of reading on staff as well. Our focused instruction model has produced identifiable and extraordinary student growth in both reading and writing. Our MCAS scores, as Danica said, particularly with regard to student growth, are exceptional. The nearly 100 Adams Scholarship recipients for last year represent a potential cash award of nearly $750,000. Simply put, our students leave Shawsheen with the ELA skills necessary for success in their career or college experience. Our grade 9 curriculum centers on the theme of identity and self, exposing students to a wide variety of literary genres and informational text, as well as focus on writing argument, analysis, and narrative. In grade 10, students look at Heroes Across Time, with focus given to state-mandated MCAS testing. Grade 11 focuses on American literature and the American story, while grade 12 emphasizes world literature and ourselves in the world. In grade 12, students can also earn college credit during the regular school day by taking a Composition 1 course as part of Middlesex Community College's Concurrent and Dual Enrollment program. Mr. McGrath will speak about that more in that tremendous opportunity in a moment. Finally, next slide, please. Great. Finally, our students can experience the English language arts beyond the classroom. Shawsheen offers a wide variety of clubs and activities, including the Reading Ramps Book Club, Literary Magazine, Newspaper, Drama Club, Yearbook, Skills USA, and Oratory Club. Our students also can enter a variety of writing contests and speech competitions. And as the English department motto states, tradition and innovation in the English language arts.
Thank you, Kevin. Next up, we have Mr. Jeff McGrath from the mathematics department.
Thank you, Danica. And as Mr. Bloom said, welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Similar to the English department, as you see here, grades 9 through 12, these are our course offerings, and we have 5 differentiated levels of instruction. These vary in pace and in rigor. As you can see, most freshmen, as they place in taking a freshman placement test prior to enrolling in Shawsheen, they are going to be placed into either honors geometry or into a CP Algebra 1 at a very level. This is comparable to many of our sending districts in the concept that they start with honors geometry and then they move along to honors Algebra 2, honors pre-calculus. And as Mr. Bloom said, we are excited to be able to highlight our honors in concurrent enrollment statistics. One of the things that we pride ourselves most on is that in our senior year, we have a variety of different electives, and we've been working to expand those over the last few years and continue to do so going forward. Next slide, please. So the thing that we're most excited about is our concurrent enrollment offerings. And as I touch on this, I'm also going to kind of describe sort of the enrollment eligibility requirements as they pertain both to the mathematics course, the statistics course, but also as they pertain to the other subject matters. So as you can see, there's a PSAT and SAT score requirement on the evidence-based reading and writing, and that goes across the board for all of our concurrent enrollment courses. There is an 85% or higher in the 11th grade English course. And then specific to math, there's an 85% or higher in Algebra 2 and at least a 3.0 high school grade point average. So concurrent enrollment courses, as Mr. Bloom had mentioned, are classes that are taught on the Shawsheen campus by Shawsheen faculty members, but the students are going to be gaining both a high school transcripted grade as well as an official MCC transcript. All 4 of our subject matters, English, history, math, and science, are going to be offering a concurrent enrollment course beginning next year. As you see, from 2012 to 2017, we had a survey posted to our graduates to try to track where they had ended up after they had graduated Shawsheen. And 27% of those graduates reported that they had matriculated to MCC. And that in addition, that 21% of them attended Massachusetts state colleges and universities. So we felt that concurrent enrollment best suited our population, with nearly 50% of our students attending either a state school or attending Middlesex, or even attending Middlesex first and then transferring to a state school. So we thought it was a wonderful opportunity because concurrent enrollment, unlike advanced placement, is going to be guaranteed college credit once they've met these requirements and enrolled and completed the course, as opposed to AP, which is offered at many of our other comprehensive high schools. Is something that requires the students to pass an AP exam after they complete the course, and it doesn't necessarily guarantee that they're going to be receiving college credit. So we thought this was a wonderful opportunity to meet the needs of our students and also kind of follow them in the direction that they're headed. On the next slide, you're going to see this is actually one of a huge selling point for us, is that we're talking about $276 for a 3-credit course. And so with concurrent, or as you see here, dual enrollment through MCC, it's significantly reduced costs compared to attending MCC as a postgrad or a state university or a private college. So at Shawsheen, if you were to enroll in concurrent enrollment statistics, for example, as well as an English class, you would be paying $276 per course, as opposed to paying $756 if you had attended Middlesex after graduation. So as you can see, the costs definitely inflate as you go to state universities and private colleges. And so we think it's a great opportunity for students to be able to start and develop their college transcript while in high school.
Thank you, Mr. McGrath. All right, next up we have Miss Angel Hardy, who is our Science and Physical Education Department Chair. Ms. Hardy, are you there?
Now I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I pulled a Kevin. Good evening. I'm Angel Hardy, and I'm going to explain the science offerings here at Shawsheen, and then I'll get into the physical education offerings here at Shawsheen. Our science courses are based on the Massachusetts State 2016 framework, and we offer 3 different levels of differentiated instruction for our science courses. In 9th grade, a student coming in from middle school will either have honors cell biology, which is our level 1. Then we also have cell biology and a level 3 cell biology. You can then move on to sophomore year, where we offer a biodiversity. And this is the year that the students will be tested at MCAS. And here at Shawsheen, we test the biology MCAS exam. When we get into the 11th and 12th grades, we have a little bit more offerings for students. We've just added honors physics to the 11th grade, with the assumption that they will then go into the concurrent enrollment of chemistry that will be offered in the fall of 2021. Or you could, some students that are going into the medical field need to have chemistry as a junior, so we offer honors lab chemistry. We also offer, it's a little chopped up, but we offer a lab anatomy and physiology, you could see there, and also physical science and a horticulture. So we do have some electives when you get into the 11th and 12th grade. And then again, if you didn't take honors physics as a 12th grader, you could take it as a senior. And we have a lot of different options also. The next slide. The horticulture class, we have a brand new greenhouse out back. It's up by the softball field, and horticulture meets out here for juniors and seniors. Also, we have, for activities, we have a science club, and there is a robotics club that's run through the electronics department. So, but there is also that for the kids that are more interested in the physics. Next slide. And for physical education and health, we have all of our students take physical education every year. They will take sports and fitness for all 4 years, and they will take health all 4 years. The freshmen and sophomores are also required to take aquatics. And then when you get to our senior year, you do have some electives, cardio, weight training and cardio, or the students can take an outdoors and indoor teams course. And I think The next slide will just show you some of our facilities. We have a fitness center that the kids are allowed to go up to during their gym class, or they can go up there after school. We also have the aquatics pool, the swim team, and we have outdoor basketball facilities for them. And there's a slide there of how they're doing remote physical education during this period. And that's it.
Thank you, Mrs. Hardy. All right, next up we have Dr. David Maroney, who's going to speak about social studies and the Spanish classes at Shawsheen.
Thank you, Danica. Good evening, everybody. The social studies program has several course offerings also aligned with the Massachusetts History and Social Science curriculum frameworks. I'm going to start with grade 9 and go through grade 12. In grade 9, students take United States History 1. This has a content range from origins of the United States to the Civil War. Also in the 9th grade, students take 21st century civic literacy. That focuses on a little bit about the United States government and its functions, but embedded within it are a series of activities for evaluating media and text sources, including websites, news sources, comparing and contrasting those sources of information. Okay. In grade 10, students take a second portion of United States History, United States History 2. This goes from the Reconstruction period following the Civil War and gets up to about World War II, the end of it, okay? In grade 11, students have the opportunity to choose between electives, including modern world history, untold history, financial literacy, and Spanish 1 and 2. A little bit about each one of those. Like the title suggests, modern world history studies topics, historical topics from an international perspective, examining topics such as the Cold War up through the war on terrorism, when we get as close to the current times as possible. Untold history tries to basically fill the gaps where we can't spend a lot of time during their freshman and sophomore years. And this examines, you know, more obscure historical topics in detail, such as the Salem witch trials and the Kennedy assassination, to name a few. Financial literacy is designed to, just have a practical education in basic financial literacy skills. This goes from everything from opening a checking or savings account to long-term financial planning. A lot of the resources that we use for this curriculum come directly from the Federal Deposit Insurance Incorporation. So that's pretty important that the FDIC is part of the sources we use. They're directly aligned with the curriculum frameworks. Spanish 1 and 2 are offered at 3 different times, starting in their junior year during school, which are semester offerings. Semester 1 would be Spanish 1, semester 2 would be Spanish 2. We also offered after school and in the summer. In grade 12, students have more opportunity to choose between electives with a few additions, including America at War. This is more of a deep dive into the topics, topics like anywhere from the American Revolution to the Civil War. We can get into more specific details on those. World War II, World War I, really any of the wars that we can't spend a lot of time on. We have U.S. government and politics. Again, the functions of government, but a little bit more detail, a little bit more sophisticated when you're talking about political science as opposed to just how the government works. And we also have a dual enrollment course, which sort of elevates the U.S. government and politics course. We use a text, the same historical American government text that is used at Middlesex. So even the text itself is a little bit more advanced than you would see in most high schools. We also practice some skills there, including, note taking during just a straight verbal lecture, and then we review that with them so they get used to doing those types of skills and are better prepared when they go off into higher learning. We also make connections to a lot of the modern day politics we see now. Next slide, please. Embedded sort of as a macro view for all of the social studies program, we try to incorporate these three basic skills. We want to develop historical and cultural knowledge through content. We want to enhance their literacy and 21st century skills through technology and engaging text. And we also want students to be able to evaluate multiple sources of information so that they can arrive at their own conclusions and don't necessarily have to listen to one source or another. Instead, we hope to ensure that they are able to compare and contrast and arrive at their own conclusions. And that's it for me in social studies.
Thank you, Dr. Maroney. Okay, next up we have Miss Sheila Fitzpatrick to speak about our support services department.
Hi, thank you, Danica. So the support services department, we work with students with a variety of disabilities. The largest identified disability consists of students who have specific learning disabilities. However, we have students who've been identified with each of the federally identified disability categories. The staff consists of 12 certified special education teachers, 2 certified school psychologists, 1 ASHA certified speech language pathologist, 1 certified school adjustment counselor, and 5 paraprofessionals. The department provides specialized instruction in each of the areas, English language arts, mathematics, science, and history. In grades 9 and 10, we provide services in educational and organizational strategies, teaching students about executive functioning skills and how to incorporate and best utilize digital literacy as offered at the school. And then in grades 11 and 12, we work on post-secondary transition planning for students who are soon entering the world of work or post-secondary education. We also have communication instruction with the speech language pathologist who comes into the classes. We also provide occupational therapy, physical therapy, vision, and audiological services. Those are provided via contract services for students who require those services. We are having our own live event next week on November 18th at 6 o'clock. So if you are unable to attend the event, please feel free to reach out to the Support Services Director, Jeff Albert. His email is there, jalbert@shawtech.org. And we'll take a deeper dive into special education at Shawsheen and what that would consist of for your son or daughter. But just because a student has a disability does not mean that they cannot attend Shawsheen. We have over 380 students on IEPs, so they're well represented within the school in every shop and every content area. So please feel free to join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fitzpatrick. Okay, so I know that was brief, but that's just an overview of the offerings we have here at Shawsheen, the academic offerings. This slide does contain all of the contact information for everyone on the presentation. And at this time, we can take questions, which you can type into the question and answer chat.
for anyone that may not be able to see where the question and answer chat box is, I think it's on the upper right-hand corner, and there's like 2 little conversation boxes with a question mark. And if you just type a question in there, it'll pop up, and then we'll be able to see that question.
Thank you, Kristen.
No problem. Okay, all right, our first question, somebody's actually asking about the shops. I don't know, I can take those, all the different shops, they're going to be having their own live events that are going to be taking place in the next upcoming weeks. I can see what I can do. I might be able to post something here in the published question section, and you can see when the shops will be holding their live events. And they'll be going into those in more detail. But this event tonight was mainly focused on academics. Let's see if I can do that.
Thank you. Yes, we do have 21 shops at Shawsheen. And like Kristen said, each one will be featured at a presentation similar to this, or they're all accessible on the website, and you can sort of click on different shops and see and gather more information on them. We'll wait a couple more minutes to see if we get any other questions. But again, our contact information is here. So if you have any questions, you can certainly reach out to us and we'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, I just saw another question. They said, great event, very informative. Can my 8th grade student apply online now? Yes, please. You can definitely have your student apply now. The deadline for 8th grade students is February 1st, and the application, the online application can be found right on our website under the admissions tab. There's a link that you can just click that says apply now. If you have any troubles, please feel free to reach out. Dr. Maroney, someone is asking, is Spanish a mandatory course or elective?
It's an elective, and it's determined based on the track the student has taken going forward, and if they are planning on going to college. A lot of colleges are looking to have a language on their transcript. So that's why we make it available. We make it available in both junior and senior year. So that way the student has flexibility and can make the choice that works best for them in those 2 years, because those are the crucial years for applying to colleges.
Thank you.
So there's another question here about, do students have to take Spanish? And I'm not sure if that was before or after the Spanish mandatory elective question. They certainly do not have to take Spanish. It's just an option for students here at Shawsheen.
Okay. I see another question about someone who's, if they're falling behind in a class now, how can they get back on track? I'm not sure if this is a current student or a middle school student.
So I think that the difference about a vocational technical high school is that you do a week of academics and then a week of your shop. So teachers are really receptive and available for students after school if necessary. So if a student is falling behind, we have a wonderful guidance department that can also support students in reaching out to their teachers, or all of the department chairs listed here are also an excellent resource who work with all of the teachers, and they work with administration to make sure that students are placed appropriately and are getting the educational resources that they need.
Okay. I also see, I see a question here about admission. Somebody was asking about applications for 10th graders. We do have rolling admissions, and you can apply now for 10th graders. It's just, the first step would be to definitely apply online. There is limited space. But if you want to submit an application, you can do that, and then we'll be following up shortly after that. I see another, how many students end up going on to a 4-year college? I think, Danica, had you mentioned that on the first slide, I think?
Yes, so there about 60% of students at Shawsheen go to college. And that could be a 4-year or a 2-year. Usually every year it's around 25 to 28% of students will go on to a 4-year school, but obviously that changes annually. And I'm going to let Mr. Kevin Bloom actually speak a little bit more about that.
Yeah, Danica, and to follow up, the 90% of our course offerings are CP. So whether or not a student decides to go to post-secondary school right after Shawsheen or later on, all of those courses would count for college acceptance. So we have that option as well. Certainly some of our shops are more focused on post-secondary education. Certainly some of the health and pre-engineering fields as well are looking for that. But we're preparing our students academically for both choices, whether that's a career or a college. The term college and career readiness truly applies here, where we want to make sure that our students, that if college is their choice, they will meet with success. If they choose a career right after graduation, that they would also have the skills necessary for success. So that's what we look at there, college and career readiness, and make sure that they are prepared for both.
Thank you, Kevin. All right, I'm just seeing somebody else was asking, do you only need 2 years of language for college admission?
Mr. Maroney, do you want to take that? Or, so I know that Mass Core does require, they like to see 2 years of language, but there's not necessarily a language requirement at every school and in every career pathway or discipline that a student wants to study post-secondary. Certainly after the freshman year, when students go through their exploratory shops and sort of decide which pathway they want to take, that's certainly a conversation that that the student's guidance counselor would advise the student about, whether or not they think that they need to take a language to go into their post-secondary options. The other thing I did want to mention is just about the class of 2020 in particular, since this is relevant and there's a lot of questions about what's happening after students leave Shawsheen. 66% of last year's class went on to a 2- or 4-year college or university. 32% went into careers and 2% went into the military. And in terms of scholarships, also we students at Shawsheen are well recognized when they graduate. There was over $134,000 of grant money and scholarship money given out to the graduates of the class of 2020 at Shawsheen last year. So we certainly serve a diverse group of students, and we encourage students to take the path that it's best for them, while also pushing themselves for future success in multiple areas.
Great. The next question I see is, Are there reading services available? I'm not quite sure who would like to take that one.
I can start, Kristen,
Sure.
and then maybe Sheila can
Sure.
finish up. After we place students based on their English in their reading placement test, if students are reading significantly below grade level, we have 3 certified consulting teachers of reading that work exclusively with the level 5 population to improve reading scores and reading comprehension. So that's what we do as far as the mainstream English. So we have 3 staff members that focus on that, and the goal is to get them reading to grade level as soon as possible. Sheila, I don't know if you want to follow up at all.
Hi, thank you. So we offer a modified curriculum for English language arts in grades 9 through 12. We work on all different stages of the reading and writing process. So we do some things that are similar to the classes that Mr. Bloom mentioned with the consulting teachers of reading, but at a much smaller level. And students all have to have documented learning disabilities in order to access that.
Thank you. The next question, do you offer electives courses too? I don't.
Yeah.
No.
So I'm going back through the PowerPoint. In all of the different subject areas, there are elective courses that are offered. Freshman year, the schedule is pretty tight because of the exploratories. That's when students go through and try different shops that they might be interested in. But as students reach their senior year, where they're potentially out on co-op and they've met many of their graduation requirements in junior and senior year, we offer a lot more elective opportunities for students, which we can, I can send you the entire program of studies if that's helpful.
Okay. Thank you. I have a question here. Does being on an IEP have any impact on acceptance? I can actually answer that one. I do work in admissions as well, and no, being on an IEP does not have any impact on acceptance. It is optional on the application if you want to identify as being on an IEP or not, but we don't use or consider any of that information for acceptance. We solely look at the students' grades, attendance, discipline, recommendation score, and interview. So that is not something we look at until after the student has been accepted. The next question, someone would like to know, how long are academic classes? And I don't know who would like to take this one.
Mr. Bloom, would you like to take it?
Sure, I can take that. For the major classes, such as science, math, English, we meet 2 periods a day. Each period is 40 minutes. So we have an 8-period day. Each period is 40 minutes. So for math, science, and English, they're back-to-back 40-minute periods, so 80-minute blocks. Some of the related, which is an academic class for the shop, that'll be talked about at the vocational live event, but there is an academic component to the shops as well. The history, Spanish, and other electives would be 40-minute blocks. So that's how we break down. And again, it's, as Ms. Johnston said, we have a week of shop and then a week of academics. So we rotate. You'll have your 5 days, Monday through Friday, of academics. The following week, you'll then spend 5 days exclusively in your shop, and then we'll rotate back. So that's as far as the length of time for courses.
Thank you, Mr. Bloom. You kind of just answered the next question. Somebody was wondering how the schedule works with having academics and shop. And as Mr. Bloom mentioned, students are in full academics for 1 week, and then the following week they spend that entire week in shop, and then they flip-flop every other week. Any other questions?
Okay, well, if there's no other questions, again, our contact information is up. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to let us know. And we really appreciate you guys joining us this evening. And remember, applications are open. You can access them on the website. And the deadline for 8th graders to apply is February 1st. All right, we hope you have a great evening. Thank you.